Hey, ladies. So now this is your first time with us. You just need to unmute Migda.
Okay, I got it.
Perfect. Well, first, I want to say welcome because one of the things that we have always struggled with in this organization was attracting active in-service workers to what's going on, and listening to knowing what's actually happening. That some union leaders had actually pushed, our healthcare issue that you guys are probably not aware of, that we've been fighting for 3 years, but you guys are kind of actually familiar with some of this, that
Yes,
your our healthcare, your one of your union is one of the unions that was trying to privatize our healthcare, diminish our health benefits, and now working to diminish the in-service benefits and with the RFP that's happening. But you guys have an election too. So introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, what you do, and then tell us why you're here.
okay, so my name is Migda Rodriguez. I'm actually a paraprofessional in a District 75 school in the Bronx. I've been a paraprofessional for the past 23 years. Um, a little intake about me was that last year, when they were running for the same chairs for the short for when Shelby retired in the middle of the school of the year of what she needed to lack over 1 year. I decided to run. We all decided to run. I was fortunate to win second vice chair for the para.
Mhm.
Um, I really was excited. But unfortunately, Leroy Barr banned me. He shunned me, basically, and refused to recognize and bring me on as one of the representatives.
Now, hold on a
Um,
second, because many people that are on here are not just teachers. So Leroy Barr is, I believe, the secretary of
yes,
the UFT, the union that
yes.
works under Michael Mulgrew. Right.
Correct, correct,
Gotcha.
correct. Yeah, and with all the emails that I sent, including Milgrew, obviously, none of them were responded to or acknowledged. So here I am again. This Here we are again.
Yeah.
We're actually
Persistence.
going. Yes, yes, that's the key, right?
It
So
absolutely is.
and
So go
mhm.
ahead. Go
And
ahead.
I wanted to say that um I mean, we have Mary. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here, but I do have Terry, and Terry's with me. And what we just want to convey is that we are like, we're true unionists, and we just want to
Yes.
represent the members, um and we want to do it with pride and with change. And I don't think, none of us think that change is like incorrect or is not value. Change is good.
It
And
is.
it's
And
time, it's time.
you guys are fighting for a living wage. You're obviously you're struggling to have your union negotiate better wages and benefits for you at this point.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going for, like you said, a livable wage, as well as longevity, as well as line of duty. I mean, none of these things have been touched. I mean, past Shelby, Adams, the second actually, chapter leader for the paras. None of this have been touched or even conveyed or even allowed to be spoken about.
So I have one question in the chat for you already. Someone wants to know, what was their reason for not acknowledging you? I think she's referencing Leroy Barr.
Okay, so I was not handpicked because they were all handpicked, and it was all unity
Yes,
that
you were
we
not in
had.
the inner circle.
No, I'm not right, unfortunately, yes. myself or Terry or Mary, you know?
All right, so let me just explain one second.
Yeah, go ahead.
So within the UFT, there's what's called the Unity Caucus, okay? And they have the stronghold of what decision making goes and takes place, and they're the ones that decide everything. So Unity decided that, well, Migna was not who they wanted to do it, so they did everything they can to shun her and to ignore her and just put her on the, on the curb. So I just wanted, you said there's not UFT, all UFT people are on. So, a little explanation that, within our union, which drives me crazy, to be honest. I think we're one union and we shouldn't be divided that way with,
Absolutely.
the powers that be and then the rest of us.
So
but
now
go ahead,
you guys
Megan,
are
I'm sorry.
So you guys are fighting to get control of your chapter to advocate for fellow paras who are you feel underrepresented, and you want to be able to advocate for that. There was a question too, I think, in one of the emails I got that they were telling you that you could not talk about increased wages or anything about money.
Okay, so
Right.
Terry, take this one because Terry did sit on that committee.
Okay, so they picked me and a friend of mine to be on the negotiating committee for the contract. When it came down to salary, which was my primary
focus,
primary concern, because we're not making a living wage. I mean, forget about anything else. We're not making a living wage, and they pretty much shut us up and says, no, money's negotiated with different committees. And we asked, well, how do we get on those committees? And no, it just didn't happen. And they just didn't negotiate for us in good faith. So the reality is that a lot of corruption went on, and it breaks my heart to say it because I'm a true unionist. I really believe in what the union stood for.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll turn around and stand for it again. But I've had numerous arguments with Michael Mulgrew, our president, and told him he's a bully and he needs to stop making these arbitrarily decisions for us because it's hurting us. And he, in the past, he said, I like Terry because she's got a big mouth and I don't keep it shut. Well, unfortunately,
I know the feeling.
I really want to sit down and say, let somebody else fight, but I just can't do that. In fact, I should be on your end with the retirees. I'm 69 years old. Why am I not retired? But
so one of the things I want to say about that is I understand your struggle with that. Trust me, because we got beat up too, and we still get beat up a little bit. But the one thing that they're doing to you guys is what they're also doing to the gentleman that I just had on before, is making comments that they're, that they're uncivil or that they're taking the low road, but that's not what's happening. You're literally defending yourself and advocating for your life, for a living wage, to improve your benefits, and you don't feel that your union leadership is actually doing that for you. So you're left to fight and defend for yourself, kind of like we were. Even though you thought you had representation, I mean, you guys do, but we don't. As retirees, your union no longer have that connection with your union. As UFT, you have somewhat of a connection, but under state law, technically unions don't represent retirees. It's frustrating though when leadership, and you and I are both in this same situation, and everyone on this chat, in that these were the people that the leadership that was supposed to protect you and advocate for you, instead of using your leverage to benefit another part of the union and still suppressing your wages or not giving you the things that you need. We see this too in DC 37. There's several locals within the district council that are very low wages or part-time workers, like Local 372, for example, that they struggle. I was just talking to a 372 retiree today, and her pension is $282 a month. This is not livable. And then plus Social Security on top of that. She's taking care of a disabled husband with dementia. This is a struggle of retirees. And so now we say, as we're struggling as retired people, you guys are struggling and you're still in the workforce.
Exactly. I mean, in the front of it all, like going back on what we do, I mean, we're there every day, 6.5 hours with only 50-minute lunch. We in and out with our students. We do it because there's a love for it. You have to have a love for it. Not everyone could do this.
No.
And when it comes to living wages, it's a struggle. We all carry, like, the majority of us have second jobs,
Yes.
and it's not getting any better. And I don't, if we don't start, and we don't start this movement, and actually take some chairs that we could have somewhat of a control to say, listen, enough is enough. We're here and we matter. I don't know what else is gonna happen, because unity, they're not there for us, and it's just, the same union. I mean, it's not even, opposite unions or whatever. We're under the same union.
So talk to me about your election. Tell me how who can vote for you and how to vote.
All right, so they vote. Ballots started going out as of yesterday. So obviously that comes to your house. And you only paraprofessionals are able to vote for us. And it'll be, I mean, this time around, with discouragement on how they did this once again underhandedly. They decided to go with slates this time around. So now there's only two boxes. There's slate for Unity, and then there's our slate, FixParaPay.
FixParaPay. So this is what we have to keep saying. Vote FixParaPay.
FixParaPay, yes. That's where we are, short and simple. And that's how, that's the control that they have right now. And we're just hoping that, that we've been vocal enough within social media here, that I know you guys are retired, but you guys do have family members that are hopefully teachers, Paris,
Yes.
or even teachers that could go to Paris and say, we have to, if this is really happening to you guys, we're gonna have to make a change, and this is how you can make it, because these ladies and gentlemen are here to work together and work for us. We like I said, we have like a few things under our belts that we want to deal with as soon as we take on office. Is it going to be hard? Absolutely. And that's just fixing our livable wages, line of duty. Okay, that's a big thing too. Teachers get Lodi, we get compensation, and it doesn't work for us.
So Lodi, let's clarify that too, because that's also a
Sure.
lingo that we use in EMS. Is for us, it's line of duty injury pay. Is that what it means for you?
Yes.
So
Well, for
working with
teachers, because for us, we don't have it, unfortunately. We only have
Really?
workers' comp, correct? So how it works for us is, and this is very unfortunate, and like I said, we're talking about decades here, and this has not gotten better for us. So we get hurt. We exhaust all our card days, right? So whatever you have in the bank, you have to exhaust it. Then you apply for workers' comp. And once you get approved, you only get 2/3% of your pay. And then as long as that carries you, you're ready to come back to work. And once you go back to work, now you got a petition for your days back, right? And it takes a judge to decide whether or not he or she will give you your days back. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Let me ask you, are teachers treated this way?
No.
No.
Teachers, they get paid. Terry, you want to get this one?
Yeah, so teachers get line of duty, obviously. And the funny thing is, and it's not even funny, it's very sad. The ones that get hurt in the schools are us, because we're working with the kids that are disabled and autistic and have, medical and emotional issues. So, paras get bit, they get snapped, they get their hair pulled, they get knocked down, they get beaten up, and we get workman's compensation. And
workers' compensation so I'll give you my experience in used to doing health benefits and pension. Workers' comp in my realm, when I did this 20 years ago, was like 2/3 your pay.
Correct.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. Exactly that, 2/3.
And then, like you said, you have to petition after you get better and you go back to work. You have to petition to get your days back in your sick bank. So
And yet
it's
teachers who you work by side with, if you got hurt and they got hurt, they get full pay, you don't.
exactly.
Absolutely. Until they come back to work, believe it or not.
Now I have another question. Hold on, because this is very much like civilian, like EMS, as we are considered civilians that wear uniforms because they don't want to say we're uniformed. But if you exhaust all of your time and yet is there ever a time when you guys come off payroll? Is there a risk of you coming off payroll in that situation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now hold on, because this is the next big question. When that happens, you're not paying union dues and you're probably losing your health insurance coverage. Am I correct on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
EMS people have the same problem. And
Yep.
other titles have the same issue. In this day and age, that should not happen. Yeah, so yeah, this is like, we describe this as a class discrimination of people. Like, certain titles have better benefits, and yet the union that represents both titles is only letting one part of the union get this. This is why this is important, people, to fight for your benefits and know exactly what you're entitled to, because there are active workers that if they are forced to like, usually you'll hear cops or firefighters, uniform services, sanitation, corrections have unlimited sick time. But in a civilian title, you don't. And if you run out of your sick and vacation time, which happens quite often, you then you will run out of time. You will not be paying union dues. You will not be entitled to your health care unless you pay like a COBRA in order to stay
Wow.
on. But who the heck has that kind of money to do that?
Ex-
You guys are in the same exact situation.
Same
Yeah. So
predicament.
in the end, that is absolutely crazy. Talk to me about longevity.
So longevity for us is basically non-existent because when you compare it to teachers, secretaries, union, UFT clinicians, they get this longevity every year. And that kind of what bunks up salary, right?
No, it's not every year. It's about 7 times. They get it in increments of, like so much, after 3 years, after 5 years, after 7 years. I don't know exactly what the ladder of, but it goes up to like 23 years and then 30 years. We get 2. We get one at 5 years and we get one at 15, and then it stops. And we get up this money. We're talking $500 for the 5 years and $3,000, I believe, for the 15 years, and that's it. It just stops. So I have 30 years with the union, and I don't make all that much extra money for being there for 30 years.
So teachers would get like a $32,000 in longevity increases, and you guys get about $3,500.
Yes, correct. Correct.
We need to fix FixParaPay, don't we?
No,
we need equity. We need the corruption. So I know we're not allotted a lot of time, but Michael Mulgrew and his cronies over there are just so threatened by us that the person that was running on our slate as the president, who I said I did not trust, all of us, and he talked badly about the incumbent that was running as the president. He backed out. So now she won by default because now we don't have anybody running on the presidential chairperson position.
Oh, if I understood that correctly, I saw that the other day online. So you actually had, if I understood this right, someone who had pledged an allegiance to your caucus.
Yes.
And then Unity flipped him. He bailed on your ballot, and they offered him what do you call that? They offered him a patronage job and gave him. Is that's real?
That's correct.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that kind of left you hanging.
To add insult, just one thing, to add insult to injury, he put out this big thing of why he was dropping out, that we had no clear, purpose, and we weren't going to achieve anything. Part of it, and so yeah, it's just disgusting. It really is, and we're not.
So you go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
You're not.
we're not doing this because listen, I don't need people to say, oh, Terry D'Ambrosio, Migda Rig Rodriguez, we're trailblazers. We just want, what's fair in life. We
Well,
just
you
want,
Right.
just want a
just
living wage to be
recognize,
able to pay your
yes,
bills and buy groceries and buy clothes and
yeah,
put gas in your car and pay your insurance.
Yeah.
So yes, I did misspoke. Someone just corrected me and said that you're a slate, not a caucus. So my bad. You guys have such terminology as I'm still trying to learn all the intricacies of the UFT because it's very interesting. But, and yes, Norm Scott saying only active paras vote in the para election, retirees
Correct.
paras vote in the retiree election. So
Correct.
we'll make sure we support the retiree paras. Don't worry. I mean, and we get accused a lot of saying, like, AFSCME actually said that we were interfering in union business. No, we take the position that we are union. We are still union. We are unionist. And you guys, you're active. You are union, right? So we should be
Absolutely.
encouraging fair democratic elections. And when we see stuff like this, we should be speaking out against it because it's not fair. It creates that inequity amongst the groups. I mean, you guys are active dues paying union members. So I want to be able to support that. And unions should encourage dissent within the union, and they should also allow that if an active union person wants to vote against run against the incumbent, that they should freely let the people choose,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
totally get it. And for unity to come and snatch your leader.
Yeah, you would think, right? I
But
mean,
that, you know what that shows though, Migda? It shows that because you guys are not paid a living wage and that you are dependent on more than just one job. Teachers have a full-time job. My mom was UFT, PS 165 in Queens. I know what my mom did. When 20 something years ago, my mom asked me to come and help her network a bunch of computers. And after like a week in her classroom, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you do this every day. It
mhm,
takes special people to deal with 30 kids like all
absolutely.
day long. But it is a struggle. All you're asking for is just a wage so that you're able to support yourself. That's really it. But you guys have to have more than one job in order to do
Absolutely.
that. And that's
Absolutely.
why that becomes a problem. Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you take on these positions within the union, like our previous chapter leader, Shelby Adams, she was making six digits. She, when she would go into schools to talk to us and meetings, or whenever she would show face or whatever, she never spoke about what she was making, and there's no way of understanding what someone is making when you're making six digits and we're like, below 60,000, if that, so the connection, it's not there. And it's like something that we would not forget, because once we take on positions, we're really gonna fight for all this, because this is no longer a job. This is a profession. We're no longer,
Yeah.
someone asked me, if you're so high up about making more money, why didn't you become a teacher? Well, guess what? I didn't become a teacher because it was my choice, because I had children at the time, young children. I couldn't go back to school. Because of them, I had to deal with their schooling. But when a nurse takes care of a patient, and when she goes out and she starts picking for more money, you don't tell the nurse, why do you become a doctor? It's a career. This is a career now, and it's built on that. I mean, we have how many paraprofessionals in the 5 boroughs? So it kind of hit you in the chest a little bit hard. You know,
So
but
when
we're
are
here.
your ballots out already, or are they coming
They
out? How
started.
is
Yeah, they started as of yesterday. They get mailed to the house. So I think they go. I don't know, Terry. Do they go by last name, and depending on where? I haven't gotten
I
mine
have
yet.
no idea. I have no idea. And that's another thing, even though we're getting the word out, not enough people vote. I mean, if the
That's another
percentage,
thing. Hmm.
the percentage of people was a few thousand compared to like 15, 20,000, whatever the total amount of paraprofessionals are. But I know we're probably probably going over our time, so I don't
It's
want to
okay.
keep anybody. But before we do say goodbye, I want to thank you, Marianne, because you're doing a phenomenal job. I do follow you, and I have friends that also follow you, and I find unification, each of us helping each other is so important. And shout out
Absolutely.
to Norm. How you doing, Norm?
Absolutely. And we're here as well as to help. Like I kind of follow you somewhat. But it was nice to put a name to the face. But whatever we could help out, we're here available as well. With your guys, fight, because we are going to be eventually retirees. So absolutely, you have us on your side, and whatever we could do, please do not hesitate.
Well, and that's what we keep telling people as the importance of rallying behind people. We say this time and time again. Every group, every slate, every caucus, every retiree group will have things that we agree with, and then there's things that we don't.
That we did.
This organization chooses to align with people that have similar interests in, even if you have a million interests, but we are aligned on this one issue, we align on this one issue. And then you're
Absolutely.
free to do whatever you want with all the other stuff. But this one issue is so important, because this is affecting retirees right now, but you are in service and you will one day be retired. And by helping uplift active workers who are paying attention, you are where the change happens, because you will put influence and pressure on your union leadership, or become your union leadership.
Absolutely.
Take back your
Absolutely.
slate, take back your union. And this is what we keep advocating for, even within, other unions, other locals, whatever. It's important that you stand behind what you believe in, because if you just keep allowing bullies to come by and take from you to advance them, then nothing will change. You have to
Exactly.
stand up and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make change. I'm going to stand up for what's right and advocate around that, because that's the right thing to do. So I commend you guys for taking that leap and having the faith to drive forward and trying to take back your slate, to run as a slate, to take back to represent your people. So
Thank
that
you.
I do totally appreciate. So you are retirees in training, and we have been
That's
trying
right.
to advocate for retirees in training forever. Super, super important. But in closing, do you guys want to add anything? Is there anything you want to tell anyone about this upcoming election or the ballots? You do have a lot of people that are behind you, even on social media. How do they find you if they want to rally with you or help get out the vote with you? Where are you?
Well, right now, on Monday, we actually having a town hall. So all the links are being posted on several social media. Terry, you want to add anything else? Like if I'm
No,
getting
well,
something?
social media is the way to go right now.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, and things like that. You join the groups, and But my closing statement will be: whoever is on this thing that's UFT, if they could just pass the word,
Absolutely.
open the envelope, put a check next to FixParaPay, and mail back that ballot. Okay, so that's what's important right now. We need the numbers. We actually need the numbers. I believe everybody understands that we do need these three things, most important: the living wage, the line of duty, and the longevity. But it's not going to happen if people don't vote. So complaining about something doesn't work.
No.
Marking that
No.
envelope and mailing it in. So
Absolutely.
please pass the word to anybody that you know that's a paraprofessional in service, and please tell them to vote. Please.
Diane DeMarco says, Migda, you go, girl. Ellen says, use Next
Thank you.
Door. It works. So post your flyer on Next Door. And we said the same thing with
Nextdoor.
Retiree Advocate. Next Door, and also The Patch, which was like another neighborhood, whatever. Take your
Okay.
flyer. their organization, you guys are FixParaPay. That is your slate. Do you have a
Yes.
Facebook page or a Twitter page that's FixParaPay?
We have the Facebook, right, Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Facebook,
Facebook.
okay.
Yeah.
And I know we're retweeting the same kind of messaging on Twitter because I'm also on there as well. But share that message, everyone, is if you have active paras, this is their fight as well. Everyone thinks UFT, when they hear all the big raises, that this group of people gets these benefits. They don't. Their benefits are negotiated separately, and there isn't equity there. So your website is fixparapay.org. And so you guys go up there, you can see their messaging, their flyers, and share the message. So if you know an active para, tell them to get out the vote. Now, when is your voting deadline?
Well, by June 13th, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct, Terry?
Yeah, June 13th.
Yeah,
Everything
June
has to be
13th.
in. So as soon as you get that ballot, make sure you turn it right back around, just like
And
the
if you
title,
don't get a ballot, call the union and tell them to send you a replacement.
and
So,
do
'cause
that quickly. So
sometimes
it's the
it-
same kind of thing with retiree advocate too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ASAP.
Okay.
Yeah, just call them.
Well, guys, I can't thank you enough for joining with us. We had a really great run of show today with
We want to thank you guys.
supporting UFT people, both active and retired. So this is really great that you were able to join us tonight, and we wish you the best. You guys have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend.
Same to you
Happy
guys.
Mother's Day. I want to say happy Mother's
Likewise.
Day to everyone.
Yes.
We did our update in the first part of this in the beginning at 8 p.m. Yes, I started on time today. So go back, replay this for 8 p.m. And you'll be able to catch our update on just our court cases and our fundraising stuff. But
Okay.
I want to wish everyone a happy Friday. Have a happy weekend. Have a happy Mother's Day. You guys, best of luck. Keep us posted. Let us know what's going on. And if there's something else that we
Absolutely.
can do to help uplift you, please give us a holler.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so much, and happy Mother's Day.
Likewise. Yes. Happy Mother's Day, guys.
Yep. So say FixParaPay, and in union solidarity, we will do this together.
Yes.
Thank you.
Look,
Thank
you got
you.
the thumbs, you got sparkles.
Yeah. Have a good
All
one.
right, guys. Ciao.
Bye-bye,
I love
guys.
you. Have a great weekend,
Love
and
you.
we'll see you soon.
Yes.
All right. Good night.